Welcome back. Today we're going to look at comparing and ordering integers. That means comparing and ordering positive and negative numbers. Okay, comparing means telling which one is greater than or less than, and ordering is asking us to put them in order, whether it's from least to greatest or greatest to least. The important thing to remember when comparing numbers is that as you go to the left, the numbers get smaller and smaller, and as you go to the right, the numbers actually get larger. So that means the further to the left a number is, the smaller it is, and the further right on the number line the number is, the larger it is. We can use this information to order positive and negative integers. When you read a number line from left to right, the numbers are in order from least to greatest. So we can plot our numbers on our number line and read them from left to right to order them from least to greatest. For example, it says Fred recorded the following scores during his first week at the Golf Academy. In golf, the lowest score wins. Order his numbers from least to greatest. Okay, the first step to ordering from least to greatest is to take these numbers and plot them on the number line. So Monday, Fred shot a 4. I plot a 4 on my number line. Tuesday, he shot a -2, so I get a -2, and I plot it on my number line. Wednesday, he shot a 3. So I plot a 3 on my number line. Thursday, a -5. Friday, a -1. Saturday is 0. And Sunday, a -3. Okay. It says that we want to order his numbers from least to greatest. Okay. Remember, in order to go from least to greatest, we read them from left to right. That means the numbers that are furthest to the left are the smallest numbers. So I go all the way to the left, and I find the number that's the furthest to the left, and that is -5. So that's my first number when ordered from least to greatest, and we always put a comma in between when we make a list. Our next number we go over is -3. Our next number is -2, -1, 0, 3, and last is 4. So I've taken his golf scores and I've ordered them from least to greatest. You'll notice the larger the number is negative, the smaller it is. I want you to pause the video for a second, order these from least to greatest on your own, and then come back and check your answers with what I have. Okay, so let's look at number 2. The change in the stock price. Okay, we want to order these numbers from least to greatest. We want to plot our numbers first. -5, +4, 0, -3, -6, and +2. Now if we're ordering them from least to greatest, we start from the left, the furthest left, -6, and then we go to the right to order them from least to greatest. So I have -6, -5, -3, 0, 2, and 4. There are all my numbers ordered from least to greatest. For number 3, we're looking at elevation, meaning how high or how low something is. In meters, we have 9, -1, -6, 2. Remember, I'm just plotting these points where they go on the number line. -10, 0, 5, and 8. And again, I read them from left to right to go from least to greatest. If I wanted it from greatest to least, I would go from the right side to the left side. But they want it from least to greatest. So I start from the left at -10, and I work my way over all the way until I get to 9. I have -10, -6, -1, 0, 2, 5, 8, and 9. And I count my numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just to make sure I have all of my numbers there and I didn't leave one out. So comparing numbers from least to greatest, plot your numbers on the number line, read them from left to right. After a while, you don't need the number line anymore. You just kind of recognize that the bigger the negative number, the smaller that number actually is. The second part to this is writing inequalities based off of numbers. We need to remember that an inequality is just a statement that two numbers are not equal. That makes sense. In meaning not, equality meaning equal. So they're not equal. And when you were younger, you would just say you were doing greater than, less than, or equal to. Okay. Remember that the open side, this open side of the arrow goes to the bigger number when you set up your inequality. Okay. You can use a number line to help when you write an inequality. And it's very important to remember that the further the number is to the left on a number line, the smaller the number is. And conversely, if the further it is to the right, that means the bigger the number is. Let's take a look at some examples of inequalities. Remember, I have to complete these using greater than, less than, or equal to. So I can tell where the number is, or how large a number is, by plotting on the number line. So my first number is -9. My next number is -1. Remember, the further a number is to the left, the smaller it is. That means -9 is smaller than -1. So the open side goes to the bigger number when I write my inequality. So my closed side goes toward my 9. My open side should go towards -1. Okay, -2 and -9. I already have -9 plotted. I plot -2. -9 is still smaller than -2. So -2 is the bigger number. And I put the open side towards -2. The third one, -9 and -4. -9 again. -4 goes right there. So -9 is still smaller than -4. Closed. Okay, -2 and -14. I plot -2. I can't even plot -14. It's over here somewhere on my number line. So it's definitely further left. That means -2 is bigger than -14. Where -2 is greater than -14. -9, -2. We already figured out above that -2 is bigger. So we have -9 is less than -2. -4 and -1. -4 is right here. -1 is right here. -4 is further to the left. That means it's smaller. So -4 is less than -1. It's very easy. Okay, the further to the left a number is, the smaller that number is. I keep saying it over and over again, but it's super important. Pause the video, take a second, go through the your turn, then come back and I will go through the answers with you. Okay, number 4 says compare. Write greater than or less than. Use the number line to help you. Okay, -10 and -2. -10 is over here on my number line. -2 is right here. That means -10 is smaller. So we say -10 is less than -2. -6 and +6. Negative numbers are always smaller than positive numbers. It doesn't matter what the number is. So -6 is less than +6. And then I graph -7 and -8. -7 is right here. -8 is right here. -8 is further to the left. So we say -7 is greater than -8. Number 7 says write two inequalities to compare -2 and -18. Well, -2 is the bigger number. -18 is a bigger negative number, which means it's actually smaller. Okay, so we can say that -2 is greater than -18. That's one inequality. We could also say it the other way around. And we could say -18 is smaller than -2. Two inequalities, they say the same thing. They both use -2 and -18. Number 8, we have the same thing. Okay, we could say that 39 is greater than -39 because positive numbers are always bigger than negative numbers. Or we could say that -39 is smaller than 39. Okay, the important thing to remember from this video, the further the number is to the left, the smaller it is. The larger the negative number, the smaller that number actually is. If you remember that, you'll remember how to order and compare positive and negative numbers. If you have any questions, please ask, leave it in the comment section, or do whatever you have to do.